Hola.
Hello, this call is being translated.
Abuela, listen to what my phone can do.
Abuela, escucha lo que mi teléfono puede hacer.
¡Wow! Ahora dime sobre tu novia nueva.
Wow, now tell me about this new girlfriend.
Huh?
Tú sabes lo que dije.
You know what I said.
Language is no longer a barrier thanks to Live Translate with Galaxy AI on Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. Learn more at Samsung.com. Samsung account login required. Calls must be made using the native Samsung dialer.
Welcome to the Flash Finds podcast, the world's fastest podcast where we explore how Facebook can help you with the stuff you're into. I'm Emma Rogue, joined by Nathan the Cat Lady, a Facebook creator. So Nathan, if you're into pets, what kind of stuff can you find on Facebook?
Well, I make reels about useful tips for pet owners. For instance, cats don't like still water, so all of my cats have cat fountains.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute. What a great episode. See you next time on the Flash Finds podcast, all about discovering the stuff on Facebook you care about. Bye.
Ray-Ban Meta Smart Glasses help you make the most out of every moment. Hey Meta, text Naeem. Got us a table. This spot looks legit. Hey Meta, look and translate this for me.
It says traditional lime soup with chicken.
Hey Meta, take a photo. Ray-Ban Meta Smart Glasses. Learn, connect, and capture content hands-free, so you can stay in the moment. Iconic style meets cutting-edge technology with Ray-Ban Meta Smart Glasses.
Hey everyone, welcome to this edition of Keep Watch Pass on the It's Not That Bad podcast channel, a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. When I say to you, 30 years old, do you think that's old? I guess it depends on how old you are. Because if you're 30 years old, then, well, that was when you were born. If you're a little bit older, 30 years may not seem so long ago, or at least it's not going to feel so long ago. But if you're a millennial, you'd be like, oh my God, Stone Age. Maybe not. But we're going to try and figure out how we see the films that were released in 1994. And here to rock and roll with me, my lovely wife, Carrie. Carrie, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
See,
how are you?
I am. See, when I say 30 years ago, it doesn't feel like 30 years ago. Like I'm taking a look at the list of movies from 1994, and I'm like, no, there's no way. There is no way that is 3 decades old.
Exactly. I mean, same thing with music. How many bands are coming out with their 30-year anniversary tribute album or tour? And I'm like, didn't that just
come out? Yeah.
Movies, I mean, come on. Like, 94 was a kick-ass year in movies. Like, this was a challenging year.
Yeah, in movies and in music. Like, last week, dear listeners, if you haven't had a chance to listen to it, go back a week ago. We did movies of 1984. And going through the list of films that were released that year, I'm like, no, that feels right. But 40 years ago, 1984 felt like 40 years ago. 94? Not so much. 94 literally feels like it just happened. And yes, the music from 94, holy crap. If we ever did a spin, shuffle, skip where it's like albums of 1994, I would blow my mind because that is insane. Because 1994 was an insane year for music and movies as well. It took a bit because there were some really good films from 94. It was harder to pick which was going to be a keep, which was going to be the watch and differentiate. Trust me when I say, if we ever do a volume 2 of 1994 films, it's going to be still as good. Because, yeah, I still watch some of these films today as if they were released last year. 94 doesn't feel that old. It really doesn't. But I think that's funny. 30 years probably feels very different to different people in different age groups. You know, again, if you're older, 30 years isn't going to feel that long ago.
Are you calling me old? Because I totally agree. The only thing is that, I don't know, maybe it was just the quality of the creativeness of 94.
Yeah, 94 seemed to be like almost like everyone's creative brain just exploded onto the screen because there was some fantastic stories and filmmaking and visuals that came out. Like such a creative year, such a vibrant, creative year. Oh my God, so good. But here's what we're going to do, dear listeners. We are about to go through this fantastic year and pick 3 films, a keep, a watch, and a pass. The Keep is the film that we hold in high regard, and even though it's 30 years old, we probably watched it this week. The Watch is a film that, you know what? We've watched it in the last 5-10 years, and it still feels good. And The Pass is one that we'll just leave that 30 years ago. Even though it doesn't feel that long, it can stay there. Now, Carrie, I'm going to assume that you had a very tough time with your 1994 Keep film.
I have a list. Even now, as I sit here, I mean, 94 was the year of Tarantino.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like on my list, I've got Pulp Fiction, I've got Natural Born Killers. I almost want to ask you to pick first because I'm literally staring at this list here. Everything from other movies that we've talked about on It's Not That Bad, Airheads, PCU.
Well, don't just list every film because there could be a volume
no,
2.
these are literally my short list, right? Yeah.
Do you want me to go first?
I think no. I think it goes without saying. I'm going to respectfully decline choosing a Tarantino movie because that would be too obvious. And so with that said, and narrowing down my choices, I'm going to go with The Crow. Because truly, the original Crow movie, of which was the only one that we didn't have a chance to talk about on It's Not That Bad.
Because there's no way that qualifies.
No, I know, but it deserves an honorable mention. And here it is. I am keeping The Crow movie, the original with Brandon Lee, forever. That movie is just the movie, the soundtrack, the graphic novelization, the story, just the everything.
The everything, yeah.
The everything that is The Crow.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a regular listener to this podcast, then you already know by now that we took a 3-week stretch and we covered The Crow City of Angels, The Crow Salvation, and The Crow Wikipedia. It's not set in Boston, I'm sorry. But we could not talk about the 1994 Crow, starring Brandon Lee. And it felt to me, and yes, it is my pick as well. So we line up on our key picks here. This film wasn't just a movie. Like this was a moment. This was a pop culture zeitgeist moment. Like it was, I mean, to me, it was everything. Like I watched this movie ad nauseum. I listened to this soundtrack ad nauseum. Like it was, rare is the movie that comes along that it almost feels like a fixed point in time. Like this is like one of those, like, not paradox moments, but you know what I'm talking about, right? Like one of those critical points in pop culture that set the tone. And if you were around in 1994 and you were of a certain age, I guarantee you this film was on your list. This film was watched extensively. You either had a shirt or you tried at some point to wrap your stomach in like gaff tape over a black shirt so you look like the Crow. I guarantee you 1994, 95, 96, people were wearing white face paint with the black liner all on for Halloween, and they probably went out on the 30th, say it's Devil's Night. Smokes and road beers. The Crow was everything. Still is. Like, this is one of those moments in film history, for me, that defines not just the year, but the era and that point in my life. The Crow was that impactful on me. Phenomenal film. There was no way. Normally, I like to try and stay away from the obvious picks because I don't want to be Captain Obvious. But when The Crow is on the buffet table, that is just serve me that. I could eat for a year just off that film. It's so good.
Hola.
Hello, this call is being translated.
Abuela, listen to what my phone can do.
Abuela, escucha lo que mi teléfono puede hacer.
Wow. Ahora dime sobre tu novia nueva.
Wow, now tell me about this new girlfriend.
Huh?
Tú sabes lo que dije.
You know what I said.
Language is no longer a barrier thanks to Live Translate with Galaxy AI on Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. Learn more at Samsung.com. Samsung account login required. Calls must be made using the native Samsung dialer.
Hi, I'm going to whisper some things to you now about Crunch chocolate bars. Because apparently this whispering thing is a thing that makes you feel things. It's saying something crunchy is coming in the candy wrapper language. Imagine your tongue hiking up those crispy, rocky ridges. Now, drum roll, please.
Wow, that's good. Crunchy, munchy chocolate doesn't whisper.
Turn up the fun with Crunch.
This episode is brought to you by Dove. You use all the right skincare products for your face, but your body has been missing out. With new Dove Serum Body Wash, you can give your body the vitamin C glow it's been wanting, the hydration boost it's been craving, and the active skincare ingredients it deserves. It's time for your body care era. New Dove Serum Body Wash. Get Dove or get FOMO.
But then there's my watch film. And I might shock you with this because I'm going for a Western themed film. And this is very rare for me because I'm not a big Western guy. But this is a remake of a TV show. And it is fun as hell. I'm talking about Maverick, starring Mel Gibson, Jodie Foster, and James Garner. This film is a ton of fun. First of all, it's Mel Gibson at like the peak popularity of like Lethal Weapon, and Braveheart was around that time, if I remember correctly. Like, this is peak Mel Gibson time. But I think what I also liked about this is that Jodie Foster got to have fun. Jodie Foster doesn't take many comedic roles at all. She takes this and runs with it. Like, this is front to back one of those fun adventure romps in the Wild West. Everyone looked like they were having a ton of fun. The script is a ton of fun. I don't often say, watch this Western, but I'm going to say, watch this Western. It's rare for me, but here we are. All right, I'm going to put the horse over into your stable here. What is your watch from 1994?
Oh, come on. I had mentioned it's the year of Tarantino, but also Clerks.
Yes.
And the year of Kevin Smith and Jay and Silent Bob, Dante and Randall, and I'm not even supposed to be here today. Talk about a quotable movie. Like, Clerks was the bomb, yo.
Like, low budget, amateur, DIY, guerrilla filmmaking style, like the story of, getting a bunch of credit cards, maxing them all out and, taking advantage of like that 30-day return policy at stores. Like, this was really what that era was about. That not necessarily the studio era, but the get it done era. And if the story was there and the acting was there, the filmmaking didn't necessarily have to be there. Like, you take a look at the film and it's not, it's definitely not a big budget film.
No.
It's a barely budget film.
Like, 2 locations, maybe?
Like, this film lives and dies on its dialogue. And that's also what made Tarantino as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, again, if you watch early Tarantino films, there's not a lot of camera trickery, barely any special effects. I mean, yes, the soundtracks are there, and same thing with the Kevin Smith films. The soundtracks were there, and really, if you take a look at it, between The Crow and Clerks and Pulp Fiction, right? Like, you have some of the most iconic soundtracks of the entire decade. But the dialogue had to sell the story because they weren't relying on camera trickery and special effects. They were relying on real people saying real words. And I think that's why a lot of these films still carry today.
Well, except for the suitcase in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
But
again, it wasn't a special effect. It was a light in a frickin' suitcase. So, okay. But but even with The Crow, going back to our keep pick here, in that the special effects weren't necessarily there. There were some. But I mean, that film was made on Brandon Lee and his screen presence and his delivery of those lines. And that script, there are moments in that script where it is pure poetry come to life thanks to Brandon Lee. Right? If The Crow had a crap script, doesn't matter how good Brandon Lee is. You're going to be like, oh, that's kind of cheesy. No. Script spot on. And that's what 1994 had to bring. The script being spot on. And so far, like Maverick, based on comedy, right? But not necessarily, yes, it's an action comedy, but it's some of the quips. And Jodie Foster was getting a lot of good moments in that film. But so far, we got good selection here. But now we get to the pass.
Without a doubt, Dumb and Dumber. Yeah. I very much disliked this movie, and I'm not afraid to share it. I can quite easily pass on Dumb and Dumber, Dumb and Dumberer, and what was the one that
Oh, was it when Harry Met Lloyd or something like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Dumb and Dumber 2 or something like that? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I didn't mind Ace Ventura. I didn't. Liar, Liar, that's fun.
Oh, yeah.
Liar, Liar is a great, funny film.
Even, not The Truman Show, but what's the one where he talks to God or...
Oh, Bruce Almighty.
Bruce Almighty, yeah. That one wasn't bad.
But Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
Reminds me, and going back and watching it now, reminds me of every annoying YouTuber out there that just screams constantly.
Or horrible Saturday Night Live sketch that just won't go away.
Yeah. Yeah, these characters were not good. It felt like a Saturday Night Live sketch stretched to 90 minutes. And if you had given me these two characters, you gave me Harry and Lloyd together for 5 minutes on Saturday Night Live or on In Living Color, because Jim Carrey was there, I could buy that. I could buy those two characters in different situations in 3 to 5 minute little sketch com digestible sizes.
But to give them a movie,
no,
and then another one, and then another one,
no,
it was too much.
Yeah, like,
what's the most annoying sound you've ever heard?
Don't you know? No. Well, I mean, let's be honest. The most annoying sound is many of those YouTube videos that are out there. But my past might shock you because I'm going sci-fi. I'm going for a big franchise. And I'm going to say Star Trek Generations continues the trend of odd-numbered Star Trek films sucking a big old donkey. Look, it's not the worst odd-numbered Star Trek film. That goes to Star Trek V. Final Frontier. When they go and find God, the end of the universe is bad. It's bad. But this was supposed to be the first Picard era film, right? And Star Trek Next Gen, by this point, had earned their film. But nope, we got shoehorn in Shatner, and we got to pass the baton somehow, and we got to have a Shatner death scene, and no. This story sucked. Not even Data saying, oh, pulling the Spike Witwicky from Transformers the movie in 1986. Because if you saw it in the theaters, you heard Spike swear in a Transformers film, and you're like, oh, big screen rules, big screen rules. Now Data does it. He's a discount Spike Witwicky at that point. Never thought I'd say that, but here we are. They didn't need to pass the baton. Star Trek Next Generation did not need the original series to prove its worth. It had earned its place at this point. And yes, there were a couple cameos from the original cast during the series, and on a single episode basis, that was great. It's fine. Didn't need it here. Didn't want it here. I was done with Kirk and company. They had a phenomenal send-off with Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. Phenomenal movie. Even number film follows the rules. Absolutely. And the way that film ended felt like the perfect way to say goodbye to that crew. Right? There was a standing O at the end of the film, and it felt like a dual purpose because they finished the mission in the middle of the council meeting, and everyone celebrated the yay, the Enterprise crew saved the day, yay, awesome. But it also felt like that great almost thank you moment. That thank you to the original Star Trek crew should have ended it right there. And then start fresh with Star Trek Generations and Picard and company, and all good. Didn't need Shatner. Shatner ruined this film for me. This should have been Picard's time to shine. And the rest of the Next Gen crew. But it wasn't. First Contact comes around, though, and it's all Picard, and that film kicks ass. That was the 8th. This was the 7th. The odd number Star Trek movie rule still applies. Carrie, thank you so much for this. Now, remind our listeners, your Keep, Watch, and Pass picks from 30 years ago, 1994.
I still can't believe it was 30 years ago, but here we are. I am keeping the crew, always. I'm watching Clerks, and I am passing on Dumb and Dumber.
All right. I am also keeping the crow. I'm watching Maverick, and I am passing on Star Trek Generations. Carrie, thank you so much for this. And to you, our listeners, you guys know the drill. If there is a topic that you want us to cover on Keep, Watch, Pass, drop us a line on social media at NotThatBadCast, or go to our website at NotThatBadCast.com. We'd love to hear from you guys, and we want to shout you out in the show, so go to our Coming Soon page, check out the shows that we're preparing, get your picks in, get your name said on the show. Until next time, she's Carrie, I'm Jay. You guys are awesome. This is Keep, Watch, Pass on the It's Not That Bad podcast channel, a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. Take care.